Prevent analysis paralysis with 70% information and a safe environment. If you're an engineer or technology professional, you know that one of the biggest challenges is preventing analysis paralysis. Too much information can lead to indecision and stifle creativity. But how do you know when you have enough information? And how do you create a safe environment where people feel comfortable sharing their ideas? The answer is to establish a 70% cutoff point for information and to make sure that your team feels like they can take risks without being punished. Follow on for more tips on how to prevent analysis paralysis in your own work. Define analysis paralysis and its causes. Are you feeling stuck and unable to make a simple decision? Chances are you're dealing with analysis paralysis. Analysis paralysis is when someone gets so caught up in trying to think through every possible outcome of their decision that they become overwhelmed and unable to decide at all. The root cause of this is often being too focused on trying to ask yourself the right questions and gain clarity, but instead of helping, it can actually lead to overthinking and uncertainty. If you want to avoid the feeling of analysis paralysis, try to stay open-minded and embrace some of the unknowns. Most likely, you'll be surprised by how many viable solutions there are if you take a little time to let go of your expectations. Introducing the 70% information cutoff rule. Are you ever left wondering, when is enough time to know if something isn't working? Making tough decisions in the business world can be daunting and difficult. Former Secretary of State Colin Powell had a particular approach when faced with making a quick decision. He called it the 40-70 rule. He would strive not to make a decision with less than 40% of the information needed. Then, ultimately, make the decision when he had at most 70% of the information. That's why the 70% information cutoff rule is so great. This rule states that once an organization has accumulated at least 70% of the information necessary to make a decision, it should move forward with executing their choice. If they fail, then you can use what you learned from your mistakes to do a redesign. Try again and hopefully succeed. Not only does this rule save time, but it also encourages teams to document and teach their process in order for others to learn from. Additionally, learning from our mistakes allows us to revise our approaches until we get it right. Create a safe environment in order to make decisions. Creating a safe environment to make decisions is vital for success. It's important to shape a safe space, surrounded by support from a lean-on village and tribe, in order to feel comfortable fully embracing the risk of failing fast in order to succeed faster. This safe environment should also be consistent, so that we can trust our inner guidance system and have the confidence of self-reliance when making decisions. With this secure space, making decisions with an open heart becomes an enjoyable task rather than a stressful necessity. Tips on how to implement the 70% information cutoff rule. Implementing the 70% information cutoff rule is easier said than done. It is important to recognize that it requires design and process flows that support the rule, a test study to gain insights and debate on the proposed design, and then a redesign if needed. To make sure your design is accepted by everyone affected, it's best to get buy-in from all stakeholders. Standardize practices in order to easily maintain the rule moving forward, and set up processes that are flexible enough to evolve as new ideas arise. This will help ensure smooth implementation of the 70% information cutoff rule. Example when the 70% information cutoff rule has been successful. The 70% information cutoff rule has been successfully used to get diverse groups of people to forget about their clashing opinions and push for a common goal. With only 70% of the relevant information, everyone is forced to problem solve and come up with better strategies in order to really assess the problem at hand. Having a bit less info can often help foster richer and more innovative solutions, because people have to think out of the box and beyond their own biases. When successful, this can lead to greater collaboration on projects than previously thought possible. Check out how Jeff learned this strategy and brought success to everyone, including himself. Jeff worked in an industry where detail and precision were of the utmost importance. Unfortunately, the same attention to detail often caused him to be seen as being too slow or overly meticulous by his colleagues and stakeholders. However, instead of feeling discouraged by this perception, Jeff decided to use it as an opportunity for learning. He began asking questions about how decisions were made within the organization and why certain processes took so long to complete. As he did so, he realized that there was a cost associated with taking too much time on tasks. Past a certain point, the value of additional details decreased while the cost continued to rise. This led Jeff to develop what he called the 70% rule. If you can achieve 70% accuracy in your work without increasing costs, then stop at that level rather than trying for perfectionism all the time. This new approach quickly paid off. Not only could Jeff now complete tasks more quickly, but his co-workers also noticed that their own work improved when they applied this framework themselves. In addition, stakeholders found it easier to make decisions since they no longer had endless amounts of data thrown at them every day. Just enough information for them to feel comfortable making their decision without having suffered from analysis paralysis beforehand. Jeff soon became known throughout his organization as someone who had insightfully identified and implemented solutions, which resulted in increased efficiency across all departments, something which earned him well-deserved respect from both peers and superiors alike. Summary and call to action. If you're struggling with analysis paralysis, remember that you don't need to have 100% of the information before making a decision. The 70% information cutoff rule can help you move forward without being paralyzed by too much data. To make this work in your own life or business, define what a good enough outcome looks like. Create a safe environment for risk taking and establish norms around taking action. Remember, it's okay not to know everything. Sometimes the best way to learn is by doing. So go out there and try using the 70% information cutoff rule. Who can you work with and what can you do to try this technique?